Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Thank you for joining me once again on one of these Magic the Gathering box openings. And start up that X-Files theme music because we're going in for another MagicCon Festival in a Box, which means more Mystery Booster 2. And I had forgotten last time when we opened these up because this is from the same one as one of the previous times there. This is what I'm trying to look like whenever I play a game. I'm just trying to draw as much cards as I possibly can. Some of my friends know that in deck building card games there, that my goal is to just set up an engine where I essentially just draw my deck and just keep on cycling through it over and over and over and over again there, just to get some value. So the card on the front just made me think of myself with that there. So I just thought it was very funny. But we are going to get right on in to our Mystery Booster 2. I am not necessarily going, well, I guess technically this one can have some extras there, but you know, this one here, just as a reminder, it's got this all you can eat buffet. It's also going to have an Ugin, and it's going to have a Sliver Hive there. You know, very good cards. Glad to be able to get them there. I'm just going to set them off to the side and open them up later just to make sure that this is a little bit shorter than the previous one there. But we are going to open up this one here just because we do have the chance of getting something in the extra slot there that could potentially be good. The other one is just the the cards there. So, you know, we've got another one of these Marwyn the Nurturers there. Very good in order to get a lot of extra mana ramp there because of gaining mana based off of her power there. So that's always a nifty one there. We're also going to get this, again, still don't know how to pronounce it there, Lisa, Shroud of Dusk there. I do prefer her other version there, but, you know, this is another version of her that we can get there. I believe this is the Midnight Hunt one there. So, you know, it's always nice to have extra variations of cards in order to complete out collections there as well. Oloro, who, again, does not have much in terms of printings there. They've got their OG 2013. They've got this version of them, and you can get them in the mystery boosters there because they are in the list there, along with, I saw a bunch of other insanely powerful stuff. So always nice getting some extras just to be able to see if you want to have them in your other play sets there. And sit this Harvest Hand. I mean, I enjoy getting extras of these that feel like they can be good both as commanders as well as in the 99, because then, hey, you know, I could make one where Sithis is the commander there and make it green-white, or I can put her in the black-green-white Enchantress deck there because she still goes within it as just another interesting piece for it there. So having multiple versions is nice. And for our extra card there, we are going to get, a Neheb Dreadhorde Champion there. One of the few red cards that are actually going to be in this slot here because he is a zombie in this particular version. I believe Neheb the Eternal is the one that I really, really like there. That has the, like, afflict mechanic. But this one's also good as well. Neheb Dreadhorde Champion, 2 double red for a 5/4 legendary zombie Minotaur Warrior with Trample. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, you may discard any number of cards. If you do, you draw that many, and then you add that much red mana. Until the end of turn, you don't lose it between steps and phases there. Pretty good one there. I have not gotten this one between all of the other openings for Secret Lairs there, so, you know, getting it there just helps out with the collection. I don't necessarily need to go out and buy myself an individual copy for it there, but we get our good old Mystery Booster 2 to open up, see what cool and interesting stuff might be coming around, because, you know, there's some just random cards that can come around and be like, yep, you know, this card is worth money, and I didn't even realize it, like the Ophinian Eyes or whatnot there. I mean, 3 mana to flash in an enchantment that auto, you know, it enchants the creature there, but it just gives them the ability of when they deal combat damage, it draws a card. It's like, why is this card more than $10 there? Like, I'm glad that I got in my collection there, but I don't really see myself, you know, playing it quite as much there, just because I mean, it's an interesting little combat trick, but it was just like huh? Like, it's actually worth something there? Like, I could see it being worth like $1 or $2, but, you know, I didn't understand it. Like I said, though, I'll take it for the collection of saying like, oh, you know, I'm getting closer to being able to fill this up, which is kind of ridiculous to think of when there's like 5,000 cards in the list that you can get. But speaking of that, I do remember getting this one in the last one there. Knight of Meadowgrain, double white 2/2, first strike life thing, Kithkin Knight there. Kabira Vindicator, 3 and a white, human knight with the level up mechanic, leveling up for 2 and a white, starts off as a 2/4. After you level up twice, it becomes a 3/6 and gives a permanent other creatures you control get +1/+1, and then after you get him up to level 5, he becomes a 4/8 and gives all other creatures +2/+2. It's a heavy mana sink there, and it's the reason why level up really never went anywhere. We got this thing again, which I have no idea what this is. Gepanzerter Wasser Wanderer. Gepanzerter Wasser Wanderer. I don't know. Double white for a 1/4 generic creature beastie. Murmuring Mystic, not a terrible one there. 3 and a blue, 1/5 human wizard. Whenever you cast instant or sorcery, you get a 1/1 blue bird illusion creature token with flying there. Deepwood Legate. 3 and a black, 1/1 shade. If an opponent controls a forest and you control a swamp, you may play this without paying its mana cost there, and you can pay 1 black to get +1/+1 until end of turn. Interesting little one there. You know, it's got to be super expensive so that, you know, like when you pump it up there and creatures used to be really bad. Wicked Pact again there. 1 double black, sorcery, destroy 2 target non-black creatures, you lose 5 life. Annex Hardened in the Forge there. I'd gotten plenty of these when I opened up Theros Beyond Death. 1 double red. Star 3, legendary enchantment creature demigod. Its power is equal to your devotion to red. So it starts off as a 2/3 at the very least when it's on the field. Whenever it or another non-token creature you control dies, you create a 1/1 red satyr creature token with this creature can't block. And if the creature had 4 or greater power, you create... So if this or the creature that died had 4 or greater power, instead you create 2 of those tokens instead. Stormkeel Artist, glad to get that one there. Always can use more because it's a really nice one there. 3 in the red, 2/2 Dwarf Shaman, gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control, and it's got Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, you get a treasure token there. So you play a spell, you get something back. I do this in my instant and sorcery copying deck there. So it's like, okay, you know, I play this instant there that copies itself multiple times, and maybe it gives you treasures there. So it's like if I cast it and copy it 3 times, it's like, okay, you know, it gives me, you know, a treasure for each one that I do. Well, you know, I played it and then I get 4 treasures because of all the copying. But then every time you cast it and copy it, you get another one there. So it's like, okay, well, now it's 8 treasures that I got, and now you got a ton of mana. I really, really enjoy this card. Norwood Archers, 3 and a green. 3/3 elf that has reach. Basara Tower Archer, 2 double green for a 2/1 human archer with hexproof and reach. Rustvale Bridge, bringing back some of the artifact lands there. Enters battlefield tapped, has indestructible, can tap for red or white. Going back to surprisingly what we had gotten last time. Wasn't expecting that. A little bit of AC Gyre, Tyrant of Gyre straight there. 4 green and blue for 5/5 Legendary Serpent. Can play additional lands on each of your turns. Whenever a land ETBs under your control, you get to draw a card. Very nice, but it's just interesting to get another one of those. And we're also getting another mythic in it, Comet Stellar Pup, straight from Unfinity. 2 a red and a white, 5 loyalty, Legendary Planeswalker Comet. For 0 loyalty, you roll a 6-sided die on a 1 or 2. It goes up by 2 loyalty, and you create 2 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens that get haste until end turn. On a 3, you go down 1 loyalty and return a card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand. On a 4 or 5, this will Comet deals damage equal to the number of loyalty counters on him to a creature or player, and then they go down by 2. And on 6+, he goes up by 1, and then you can activate his loyalty ability 2 more times there. So if you can keep on rolling 6s there, you can get him up pretty high and keep on getting effects there. And an Erratic Portal, 4 mana for an artifact with 1 tap, return target creature to its owner's hand unless they pay 1 there. I mean, seems pretty good for me with my desire for entry ETB triggers there. So I'll certainly take that. I'll use it on my own stuff. And we got a little bit of Toddler Rage there. Enchanted creature gets +2/+1 and has Tantrum. It's like Trample, but for blocking. Wow. Okay. So starting off with double mythics right off the bat is a bit of a surprise there, especially since I know that I've gotten AC. I might have gotten common in a previous one as well. All That Glitters, gotten this one before, 1 white. Enchantment Aura, enchant creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control. Wall of Galair, 1 and a white, 0/5 wall. It's got Defender, and it may block any number of creatures each combat. Nephelium Smuggler, 1 blue, 1/1 human rogue, 3 and a blue, exile another target creature control, return that card to the battlefield under your control, doing a little bit of flickering. Had a Spy Patrol, 1 and a blue, human rogue, 1/1 with level up. On its first one there, it becomes a 2/2 and can't be blocked. And then after you get it 3+, it gets Shroud, and it's a 3/3 and can't be blocked. Augur of Skulls, 1 and a black, 1/1 skeleton wizard, 1 and a black, regenerate it. Sack it to have target player discard 2 cards. It can only be played during the upkeep. Okay, Moan of the Unhallowed again, 2 and double black, sorcery, create 2 black zombie creature tokens. It's got a little flashback. Dead and Gone. Dead is 1 red for an instant that deals 2 damage to target creature, and Gone is 2 and a red for an instant that returns target creature you don't control to its owner's hand. Okay. Footfall Crater, 1 red for an enchantment or enchant land. Enchant land has tap, target creature gains trample and haste until end of turn. You can cycle it for 1. Okay. Ironhoof Ox, 3 double red for a 4/4 Ox. Can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Okay. Seed Guide Ash, 4 and a green, 4/4 Treefolk Druid. When it is put into a graveyard from play, you may search your library for up to 3 forest cards and put them into play tapped. If you do, shuffle your library. Interesting little way you want to try to get this out on the battlefield to get it sacked. Terrain Generator, that's not a bad one there. Tap to add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool, and 2 and tap, you can put a basic land from your hand into play tapped. You know, get a free, not a free, but you can essentially get extra land. Another Coffin Queen there, so it looks like we are doubling up on some of our rares. 2 and a black, 1/1 zombie wizard. You can choose not to untap it during your untap step. 2 and a black, tap it. Put target creature card from a graveyard on the battlefield under your control, and then when Coffin Queen becomes untapped, you lose control of it there, you exile the creature. A little bit of Ghost Quarter there. I really like this. I believe this is the Ravnica artwork there. Tap for a colorless. You can also tap and sack it, destroy target land, and its controller can search for a basic land card, put on the battlefield, and shuffle. Oh, already starting off with a foil there. I'm hoping that we can get another foil. That would be great to get in here. Sliver of Hope, we'll put that off to the side there. And Scale Lord Reckoner, 3 double white for a 4/4 dragon with flying, that whenever a dragon you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you destroy target non-land permanent that player controls. Pretty nice little effect there on that. I'll certainly be taking that there. And that's a nifty little extra card to be able to get for us. Pretty good one, I would say. I certainly enjoy getting some good ones like that. Like I said, be really nice to get extra foils in here. I did see when I was opening up my Final Fantasy ones that it's like, oh yes, I got like one Surge foil in my first box and then two in the second one. And it's like, I'm watching these people open up like 5-6 Surge foils there and getting all of the really great cards. And I'm like, man, like, I like the cards that I got in my Final Fantasy, but it's like my boxes like were nothing compared to what they got. Dauntless Bodyguard again, 1 white for 2/1 Human Knight. ETBs, choose another creature you control. You can sack this to give that chosen creature indestructible until end turn. Silver Flame Squire, 1 and a white, 2/1 Human Soldier. That has an adventure effect for 2 and a white instant. You can give target creature +2/+2 and untap it. Expel from Razka, 1 blue, instant, ascend, return target permanent to its owner's hand. If you have the City's Blessing, you may put it on the top of their library instead. Skywatcher Adept, 1 blue for a Merfolk Wizard, 1/1, that has level up for 3. Level 1 to 2 has flying and is a 2/2, and on level 3+, it's a 4/2 with flying. Priest of Gix, 2 and a black for a 2/1 Human Cleric Minion. I'm not sure if it's also technically a Phyrexian as well. When it ETBs, you add 3 black mana to your mana pool. Heartless Act, 1 and a black instant, choose 1, destroy target creature with no counters on it, or remove up to 3 counters from target creature. Strafe, 1 red for a sorcery, deals 3 damage to target non-red creature. Stormcaller, 2 and a red, 3/2 Ogre Shaman. When it ETBs, deals 2 damage to each opponent. Bellowing Tangleworm, 3 and double green, 4/4 worm with Intimidate, and other green creatures you control have Intimidate. Song of Freyalise, 1 and a green. Turn you play it, and next turn until your next turn, creatures you control gain tap, add 1 mana of any color, and on the final turn, put a +1/+1 in each creature you control, and they gain Vigilance, Trample, and Indestructible until end of turn. Very nice. Survivor's Encampment, land desert, tap it for a colorless. You can also tap it and tap an untapped creature you control to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Okay. Dromoka's Command, we got this one before as well. Blue, green and white for an instant. Choose 2, prevent all damage target instant or sorcery would deal this turn. Target player sacks an enchantment, put a +1/+1 on target creature, or target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Ooh, more planeswalkers that we're getting there on the white borders. Minsk and Boo, Timeless Heroes, 2 red and a green for a 3 loyalty legendary planeswalker Minsk. When it ETBs, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you may create Boo, a legendary 1/1 red hamster creature token with trample and haste. And you can add 1 loyalty to put 3 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target creature with trample or haste. And for -2 loyalty, you can sack a creature, and if you do, it deals X damage to any target, where X is that creature's power. And if it was a hamster, you can draw X cards, and this can be your commander. I know that recently they made the announcement that they're going to have, vehicles, vehicles are, can be used as commanders from there. I wonder if at some point they're just going to make planeswalkers in general able to do it there, or if they're just going to keep it as only certain planeswalkers are able to. Control of the Court. Draw 4 cards, then discard 3 cards at random. Okay. Just Guy Baller. Looks a lot like Bo from the Mighty Nine, so she's making a big dunk there, trying to impress all of her fellow monks. The monk that dunks. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Totem Guide. Heartbeast. Some of these ones that I've gotten before, I'm probably not going to read them off. Step Links, Dreamscape Artist, interesting one to get again there. Echo Tracer, 2 and a blue, 2/2 human, not human, just 2/2 wizard with morph. Once turn face up, return target creature to its owner's hand. Vampiric Link, black, enchantment or enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage, you gain that much life. This is what I was looking for there, because it was something along the lines of the card said whenever, it was like a legendary creature that said whenever it deals damage, you gain a life and draw a card. Or you gain that much life and draw a card there. So it's like this here, it's just like it just whenever it deals damage, it doesn't need to be combat damage there. Just put it on, it just goes infinite at that point. Scourge Familiar there. Inspired Tinkering, 4 and a red for a sorcery. As you deal top 3 cards of your library until your end of your next turn, you may play those, and you create 3 treasure tokens there. Very nice. Fire Servant, 3 double red, 4/3 elemental. If a red instant or sorcery you control would deal damage, it deals double that damage instead. Okay. Curse of Predation, 2 and a green. Enchant player, whenever a creature attacks the enchanted player, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. Invigorate, 2 and a green. For an instant, if you control a forest, you may have an opponent gain 3 life instead of paying its mana cost, and target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. Murderous Redcap, very nice. 2 and double hybrid black-red mana for a 2/2 Goblin Assassin. When it comes into play, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player, and it has Persist, so it can come back a little bit. Getting a little bit of dress down again there. 1 in a blue, Flash Enchantment. When it ETBs, you draw a card. Creatures lose all abilities, and you sack this at the end step. Ooh, this one was a good one there for a bit. Veil of Summer. 1 green for an instant. You draw a card if an opponent has cast a blue or black spell this turn, and then all spells you control can't be countered this turn. You and permanents you control gain hexproof from blue and from black until end of turn. I guess I should move this one down here since it's that. Ooh, and Back to Basics. That's a good one there. 2 and a blue for an enchantment. Non-basic lands don't untap during their controller's untap step. Very, very good one there. Be able to hose people, especially if you're just in monocolor, or you're just trying to play not just basic lands there. And new Master of Arms. I think we had a Master of Arms as a regular card there, so I guess that's the new one there. He's replacing them. Alrighty, what's up next? Another Swell of Courage, another Samurai of the Pale Curtain, another Krovikin Sorcerer, an Arcane Laboratory, 2 and a blue enchantment. Each player can't play more than 1 spell each turn. Okay, try to limit people. Steel Strength, 1 and a black, instant. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Another target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Not that great, to be honest. Shieldred's Edict, that's a very good one there because it's a one-sided edict instead of including yourself there. So, I mean, if you wanted to do it there in a, what do you call it there, aristocrats style, might not be the best one, but I mean, being able to choose what they get rid of is nice. Mog Raider, 1 red for a 1/1 goblin. Sack a goblin, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Okay. More goblins, an arms dealer, 2 and a red, 1/1 goblin, 1 and a red. Sack a goblin, it deals 4 damage to target creature. Okay. Titanoth Rex, 7 double green for an 11/11 dinosaur beast with trample and cycling 1 green. And if you cycle it, you put a trample counter on target creature you control. Big green creature from Ikoria. Makes sense. Streetwise Negotiator, 1 and a green for an 0/2 cat citizen with backup 1, and this creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Very interesting. We've got an Upside Down Fracture, white and a black instant that destroys target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. Okay. And we're getting another Garth One Eye, so getting a lot of the same mythics here, and you know, a few of the same rares as well. Mardu Outrider, 1 in double black for a 5/5 Orc Warrior. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you discard a card. Okay. Chain of Vapor. I think this one's supposed to be good. 1 blue for an instant. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Then that permanent's controller may sack a land, and if they do, they can copy this spell and choose new targets for it there. Yep, that's a good one there. I certainly will take that. Processing Plant with all of these Eldrazi guys on it. Ulamog's Power Plant. Nice. Alrighty. Keep on trucking through these. Try to make it a little bit quicker for us. Battle Screech again, Avian Changeling, Cerulean Wyvern, Boomerang, nice little double blue, instant, returns target permanent to its owner's hand. Very nice. Liliana's Devotee, 2 and a black, 2/3 Human Warlock. That gives all zombies +1/+0. At the beginning, or zombies you control, not all zombies. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died, you may pay 1 and a black. If you do, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Disturbed Burial, Exuberant Fuseling, 1 red for a 0/1 Phyrexian Goblin Warrior. Trample gets +1/+0 for each oil counter on it. When it ETBs and whenever another creature or artifact you control is put into a graveyard, you put an oil counter on it there. Reckless Abandon, 1 red sorcery is an additional cost to cast it. You sack a creature, deals 4 damage to a creature or player. Okay. Wall of Blossoms, 1 in a green wall with Defender. When it comes into play, you draw a card. Scale Up, 1 green for a sorcery. Until in a turn, target creature you control becomes a green worm with base power and toughness 6/4, and it's got overload of 4 and double green. I remember that one there. Kasali Ambusher, 1 a green and a white for a 2/3 cat warrior with reach. If a creature is attacking you and you control a forest and a plains, you may play this without playing its mana cost as though it had flash. So just comes right on in, I guess. Another Herald of the Streams, 3 and a blue, 2/3 Merfolk Warrior. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Creatures you control with +1/+1s on them can't be blocked. Saw that one there. Snow Cover Island there. Always good to get more of the snow-covered ones, especially ones with white border, because it just makes a whole lot of sense. Tower of the Magistrate, a land that taps for a colorless, and for 1 and tap it, target creature gains protection from artifacts until end of turn. Certainly will take that. And we've got Hish of the Snake Clan. Nagas and serpents you control are snakes. Will errata this to be true. They did, I believe that they have made all Nagas and serpents as snakes as well. Let's see here. Aven Liberator, Vanish into Eternity. Mental Note, this is pretty good one there as well, being able to put top cards of your library into your graveyard, and then you get to draw a card there. Replaces itself for 2 mana, for 1 mana. That's nice. Flux Channeler, 2 and a blue, 2/2 Human Wizard. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you proliferate. Footsteps of the Goryo, 2 and a black, Sorcery Arcane. Return target creature from your graveyard to play. You sack it at the end of turn there. So ETB, leave the battlefield triggers, graveyard triggers, leaving graveyard. A lot of stuff good there. Throat Slitter, just a good little ninja there that if you're able to get it out for its ninjutsu cost there, it becomes a 2/2 body that destroys target non-black creature when you deal damage. Good. One of my favorite cards of all time there, Big Score, 3 in a red, instant, as an additional cost to cast it. You discard a card and you get to then draw 2 cards and create 2 treasures. I love it so much. Frenzied Saddle Brute, 4 in a red, 5/4 Orc Warrior with haste. All creatures can attack your opponents and planeswalkers your opponents control as though those creatures had haste. So you give all of your opponent's stuff haste as long as they're attacking someone else. That's nice. Finhorn Elder, 2 in a green for a 1/1 elf that you can tap it to add double green to your mana pool. It's a pretty nice one there. Workerbow Elder, 3 and a green, 4/4 Treefolk Shaman. Comes into play with a -1/-1 on it. You can pay green and remove a -1/-1 from it to destroy target artifact or enchantment. Very nice. Unstable Frontier, a land with tap to add a colorless, and tap to for target land you control becomes the basic land type of your choice until end turn there. Okay. Another Bad Moon there, 1 in a black. Black creatures get +1/+1. Again, seems like we're getting very similar stuff in between these. Spirit of the Labyrinth, 1 in a white. 3/1 enchantment creature spirit. Each player can't draw more than 1 card each turn there. You know, trying to hose off extra draws there. Ooh. Lightning Greaves there. Always good to get Lightning Greaves. 2 mana for an artifact equipment there. That equipped creature has haste and shroud and equips for 0. Insanely good one there, and we got it in the Future Sight artwork, so that's good there. And we've got this Orb of Origin, that's a poly artifact. No idea what that is there. Maybe it counts for more artifacts than it actually is. Just taking a wild guess on that one there. Make a Stand, Birth of Meletus, Referee Squad, Disturbing Conversion, 1 in a blue, Enchantment Aura Flash, enchant creature. When this ETB, each player mills 2. Enchanted creature gets -X/-0, where X is the number of cards in its controller's graveyard. Okay. Essence Extraction, 1 double black instant, deals 3 damage to target creature, you gain 3 life. Not good. Bad Deal, we got that one there. Outmaneuver, X and a red instant, X target blocked creatures deal combat damage to defending player instead of to blocking creatures this turn there. Yep, it's a way to just outmaneuver some out of nowhere. By Force, X and a red sorcery, destroy X target artifacts there. Storm the Seed Core, 2 double green sorcery, distribute 4 +1/+1 counters among up to 4 creatures you control, and creatures you control gain vigilance and trample until end of turn. Far Wanderings, 2 and a green sorcery, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battle, put it in play tapped, shuffle your library. Threshold, so if you've got 7 or more cards in your graveyard, you instead search for 3 basic lands and you put them in the play tapped. That's pretty good. 3 mana to get 3 lands, put them into play tapped. I mean, hey, I will keep on saying a lot of these things. This goes great in that Jund World Seed deck there that uses a bunch of lands there, because you're easily going to get a lot of stuff into your graveyard there. So getting 3 of your basics from your deck there, pretty easy. Conclave Mentor, green and white, 2/2 Centaur Cleric. If 1 or more +1/+1s would be put on a creature you control, that many +1s are put on that creature instead, and then when this dies, you gain life equal to its power. Okay, so, you know, it's got a little bit of a Hardened Scales effect on a creature. That's always nice. Crystalline Crawler, got that one again there. 4 for a 1/1 construct. ATBs with a +1/+1 for each color of mana spent on it. You can remove a +1/+1 to add a mana to it, and you can tap it to put a +1/+1 on it there. Mishra's Bauble, another really good one there. 0 mana for an artifact. You could tap it to sack it, look at the top card of target player's library, and then you draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. Very, very good one there. Take that. Nalathni Dragon, 2 and 2 red for a 1/1 dragon with flying and banding. I'm not even going to try to describe banding just because I know that I'm not going to do it well. Red for it to get +1/+0 until end of turn. If this ability has been activated 4 or more times, you sack it at the beginning of the next end step. Keeper of the Crown. Looks like it's one there that has an adventure effect on it there. Interesting. Maybe it's gonna, maybe it would try to give you, make you become the monarch, potentially. Another Teo Shield Mage, Tenacity, Pendril Drake, Seal of Removal, 1 blue for an enchantment. You sack it to return target creature to its owner's hand. Corpse Augur, Vindictive Vampire, Fiery Impulse, 1 red, instant, deals 2 damage to target creature. If you got Spell Mastery, it instead deals 3 damage to it instead. Humble Defector, 1 in red, 2/1 Human Rogue. You tap it to draw 2 cards, and then target opponent gains control of it. Activate only during your turn. I mean, if you got something like Homeward Path there to be able to take things back, then you're just consistently being like, yep, you know, I'm going to keep on getting that effect. Season of Growth, 1 in a green enchantment. Whenever a creature ETB is under your control, you scry 1. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, you draw a card. Nice. Elven Bow, 1 green. Artifact Equipment, equips for 3. When ETBs, you may pay 2 if you do create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token that this then attaches to, and the equipped creature gets +1/+2 and reach. Pure Sight Marrow, double hybrid white-blue mana for a 2/2 Merfolk Wizard with hybrid white-blue, untap, look at the top card of your library. You may remove that card from the game there. So, you know, different type of scrying there, but I love seeing the untap symbol on cards there. It's just, I don't know, because it was really only there in the Lore 1 block. You know, you just don't see it, and I hope that they bring it back. Another Grist the Hunger Tide. Again, we're getting a lot of these similar ones there. It was just one of those planeswalkers there that just counts as an insect wherever it is. It was just an interesting one. Paradoxical Outcome, 3 and a blue, instant, return any number of target non-land, non-token permanents you control to their owner's hand, and you draw a card for each card returned to your hand this way. Okay. Hostage Taker. Okay, this is definitely a different artwork for it there, but I'm really digging it of them taking the the dinosaur hostage there. 2, a blue and a black, 2/3 human pirate. ETBs, you exile another target creature or artifact until it leaves the battlefield. You may cast that spell for as long as it remains exiled, and mana of any type can be spent to cast it there. So if you play the card there, then when if this gets removed, they don't get their thing back. That's nice. Audric, Lunar Marquis, there. You know, he's not a vampire, so I'm not sure how he turned back into being a human, but I guess he is. Oops, I just threw all of the ones over there instead of the actual commons and uncommons there. Alrighty. Let's see here. Another Trap Runner, Desperate Lunge, Voyager Drake, Moth Dust Changeling, 1 blue for a 1/1 shapeshifter with Changeling. Tap an untapped creature you control. It gains flying until end of turn there. Okay. Rain of Filth, a very, very good one there. Nice to get another one there. 1 black for an instant. Each land you control gains sacrifice this land. Add black to your mana pool until end of turn. Very, very good effect there. Being able to get a little bit of extra mana if you need it. Grim Bounty. Lunar Frenzy, X in red, instant. Target creature you control gets +X/+O and first strike and trample until end of turn. Great Glare Wielder, 4 and a red, 3/1 elemental shaman with haste. It comes into play. Up to 2 target creatures can't block this turn, and it's got a little evoke on it there. Topia Sprawl, nice one there. 1 green for enchantment aura. You enchant a forest. When it comes into play, you choose a color, and whenever that enchanted forest is tapped for mana, its controller adds 1 mana of the chosen color to their mana pool in addition to that as well. Treetop Village there. Come to play tapped. You can tap it for a green mana, and for 1 and a green, it becomes a 3/3 green creature with trample until end of turn. It's still a land. I believe that they've given it a creature type since then. We're also going to get Leotau. Okay, so this is let's see here. I'm trying to see. It looks like maybe it's in Spanish. Leotau Grisalho, green and a white, 1/5 generic cat creature there. So maybe these cards that are generic, that are not in, that don't have an ability, they're just in various different languages. That's my guess. Another Sublime Epiphany there, 4 double blue, instant. You choose 1 or more. Counter target spell, counter target activator trigger ability. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, or target player draws a card there. We're also going to get a Thought Vessel. Not too shabby there. 2 for an artifact. You get no maximum hand size. Can tap it for colorless. And then Arnhem Djinn. 3 and a green for a 4/5 Djinn. Beginning of your upkeep, target non-wall and opponent control gains Forest Walk until your next upkeep. So, you know, it's essentially saying, like, they're going to be able to attack you. Rule with an even hand. I'm sure that has to do the opposite of Void Winnower. That was the can't even card, but this one is probably can't odd. That's my guess. Again, they don't really do anything there, so I've kind of figured there's no point in really reading over them. Jotun Owlkeeper, Master of Arms. Well, I mean, we've already got the new Master of Arms. Why do we need the old one? Spike-Tail Drake, Witching Well, 1 blue for an artifact. When it ETBs, you scry 2, and you can pay 3 and a blue to sack it to draw 2 cards. Mind Rack Harpy, Stupor, Rupture, 2 and a red, sorcery, sack a creature. This deals damage equal to that creature's power to each creature without flying and each player. Okay. Reckless Rage, 1 red, instant, deals 4 damage to target creature you don't control and 2 damage to target creature you do control there. Very, very good on something that has, I think it's like Rampage or something like that. It's the one on the dinosaurs that if they take damage, they do an effect there. So this definitely helps out with that. Beast Attack, 2 and 3 green. For an instant, put a 4/4 green beast creature token into play, and it's got flashback for the same cost. Terra Sunder, 1 and a green, instant with kicker 1 and a black. Exile target artifact or enchantment. If this was kicked, you exile target non-land permanent instead. So add a bit more and you can hit anything. Witherbloom Apprentice, black and a green, 2/2, human druid. Magecraft, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses 1 and you gain 1. Showdown of the Skulls there. You know, we got this one last time as well. 2 red and a white. Exile top 4 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You can play those. And on 2 and 3, whenever you cast a spell this turn, you put a +1/+1 target creature you control. Seed Time. 1 and a green, instant. Cast this only during your turn. Take an extra turn after this one if an opponent casts a blue spell this turn. Interesting one there. Very interesting. I'm sure that there's a lot of blue players there, so getting an extra turn in green seems kind of nice. Goblin Gang Leader, 2 and double red for a 2/2 Goblin Warrior. When it ETBs, you create 2 1/1 red Goblin creature token. Okay. Mother's Yamazaki. Because I think that there's the brothers Yamazaki there, so I guess that this is their mom just making them pies so that after they finish up with whatever battle they're in, they come back and get some fresh pie. Thunderous Order. Spirit Mantle is always a good one there with the protection from creatures there. You can just be able to swing in. Ideas Unbound. Symbol of Unsummoning, 2 and a blue. Sorcery, return any one creature to its owner's hand. You draw a card. Okay. Deadly Dispute. Dothy Horror. Smash to Dust. 1 and a red. Sorcery, choose 1. Destroy target artifact. Destroy target creature with Defender. Deal 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. Okay. Seething Anger. 1 red for a sorcery with buyback of 3. Target creature gets +3/+0 until end turn. Okay. Briar Patch. We got that one before. Nissa's Judgment. 4 and a green. Sorcery. Support 2, choose up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 on it deals damage equal to its power to that creature. It's a little expensive though at 5 mana. Rimewood Falls, Snowland with, that's a forest and island, enters the battlefield tapped. Ooh, Golgari Grave Troll. You know, very classic good card there. 4 and a green, 0/0 Troll Skeleton, ETBs with a +1/+1 on it for each creature card in your graveyard. And pay 1 and remove a 1/1 from it to regenerate it there, and it dredges for 6, and that dredge is the one that is really, really good on it there. So nice to get that. Ooh. Now this is another great card there. Cabal Coffers. Land, pay 2, tap it, add black for each swamp you control. So good, especially if you've got Urborg there. It's just so good. And we get the City of Brass as well. Oh, that's very nice. Getting a lot of good lands here. First pack that I think we got, like, everything was new in it or something like that. Land, when it becomes tapped, it deals 1 damage to you, but it can tap for any mana. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. This is actually uncommon. I'll put it there. And Bolt Fire. Okay. All right. Very nice to get some really, really nice lands in there. Lands is something that pretty much every deck needs, so being able to get good ones there is always nice. Master Decoy, Perimeter Captain there. Surprised that it was, you know, not expensive, but it had a little bit of value to it, and now that I look at it, it's nice. Whenever, you know, a creature with Defender blocks, you gain 2 life there. I mean, if you build around that there and toughness matters, it's pretty good. You can gain a lot of life. Cold Water Snapper. Psychic Corrosion, 2 and a blue, enchantment. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard there. Just, you know, mill them as you draw. Very nice. Thrall Parasite, Dusk Mangler, Cinder Cloud, 3 and double red, instant, destroy target creature. If a white creature is put in the graveyard this way, it deals damage to that creature's controller, to that creature's controller amount of damage equal to the creature's power. Okay. Pyrite Spellbomb, 1 for an instant, pay red and sack it to deal 2 damage to any target, or you can pay 1 generic and sack it to draw a card. Mutagenic Growth. I mean, most stuff that has Phyrexian mana symbol on it there to reduce costs is pretty good there, but basically it means that this is free because 2 life is nothing in the grand scheme of things. Just paying 2 life to give something +2/+2 to be able to either get in that extra damage there or to make sure that it destroys a creature that it's in combat with. Amazing card. Hunter's Mark, 3 and a green, instant, costs 3 less to cast if it targets a blue permanent you don't control. This spell cannot be countered. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Then it deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. Try and get rid of them there. Sky Knight Vanguard, red and a white, 1/2 human knight with flying. When it attacks, you create a 1/1 white soldier creature token that's tapped and attacking. Okay, yep, pretty classic. Oh, getting one of the dragons here, Yosei the Morningstar. We're finally getting cards that are not the ones we've gotten before. 4 double white for a 5/5 legendary dragon spirit with flying. When it dies, target player skips their next untap step, and you tap up to 5 target permanents that player controls. Very nice die trigger there. Very like that a whole lot. Oh, Culling the Weak, another very good one there as well. 1 black for an instant. As an additional cost to cast it, you sack a creature and you add 4 black mana. You know, it's very similar to Dark Ritual there in and of its effect there, so you essentially get another one. And Counterspell. You know, the good old classic Counterspell, just with, you know, artwork that I haven't seen before. Double blue, just counter target spell. Very good. And a little bit of Value Town there as well. Hopefully it's I mean, because it's a playtest card and you can't really play it, it's not that valuable, if you know what I mean. So Value Town has no value. That's underwhelming. Otherworldly Journey, 1 and a white, instant arcane, remove target creature from the game at the end of turn, return it to the play under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay. Resolute Reinforcements, Narcolepsy, Tolarian Terror, you know, big one there in Pauper. Thirsting Bloodlord. Feed the Swarm, can always use more of those, it's good. Onslaught, 1 red for an enchantment. Whenever you successfully cast a creature, you tap target creature. Okay. Electrickery there. 1 red for an instant, deals 1 damage to target creature you don't control. Overload for 1 and a red, it deals 1 damage to each creature you don't control, which in of itself is not terrible there, but, you know, you have to make sure that you're fighting things that have only 1 toughness. Spike Colony, Hedge Troll, 2 and a red, 2/2 Troll Cleric, gets +1/+1 as long as you control planes, and you can pay 1 white to regenerate it. Okay. Ghost Town there. Tap to add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool, and you can pay 0 to return this to its owner's hand. Only use it during another player's turn. Interesting. So you can pay 0 to bring it back, so you can essentially get more landfall triggers. That's pretty nice. Plague Engineer, 2 and a black, 2/2 carrier, probably Phyrexian carrier. Death Touch, as a ETBs, you choose a creature type. Creatures of the chosen type your opponent's control get -1/-1. Classic Leyline of the Void. It's been reprinted so many times now, though, that, you know, it hasn't seen quite as much play either. 2 and double black, enchantment. If it's in your opening hand, you may begin the game with this on the battlefield, and if a card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, it's exiled instead. Little classic. Engineered Explosives with a new artwork for me. X colorless for Sunburst. You can pay 2 and sacrifice Engineered Explosives and destroy each non-land permanent with mana value equal to the number of charge counters on Engineered Explosives. So you have to choose what you're going to be hitting there. And a Gobland there. It's, you know, Dryad Arbor, but Goblin flavored. Which, honestly, I think would be pretty darn good there. To arms, 1 and a white, instant, untap all creatures you control, draw a card there. Okay, yeah. Simple enough. Sunblade Angel, Probe, Manipulate, Fate, 1 and a blue, sorcery, search your library for 3 cards, remove them from the game, then shuffle your library, draw a card. Okay, Fleshbag Marauder, Virus Beetle, Experimental Synthesizer, 1 red for an artifact. When it ETBs or leaves the battlefield, exile top 2 cards of your library. Until the end of turn, you may play that card, or exile the top card, not 2 cards. 2 and a red, sack it to create a 2/2 white samurai creature token with vigilance, only activated sorcery. Merchant of the Veil, 2 and a red, human peasant, 2/3, pay 2 and a red, discard a card, draw a card, and it's also got Haggle on an adventure where it just does the same thing. You can discard a card, and if you do, you draw a card. Jungle Lions again, Baloth Woodcrasher, 4 double green for a 4/4 beast. With landfall, whenever a land ETBs under your control, it gets +4/+4 and trample until end of turn. Kind of classic there. Ornithopter of Paradise, nice to get one of those there as well. 2 colorless for an 0/2 artifact creature Thopter with flying, and you can tap to add 1 mana of any color. Blatant Thievery, 4 and triple blue for a sorcery. For each opponent, you gain control of target permanent they control. Very, very nice there. Path to Exile. Not quite as good as Swords to Plowshares, but we'll certainly take more of these as well because they're good, and this is a nice artwork for it as well. 1 white for an instant, exile target creature. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card and put it on a battlefield tapped and shuffle. Nice. Arena. It's a land that has 3 and tap. Target creature you control on target creature and opponent's choice, and target creature of an opponent's choice they control. Those creatures fight each other. I mean, pretty simple there. Dwarven Confluencer. You could use that to try to get rid of something that you have that small power that you need to have a die trigger, or if your opponent only has a couple of things and it's their combo pieces, then you can try to remove one of them with fighting. The only problem is it gives them choice, which is not the best thing. Knightly Valor, 4 and a white, enchantment or enchant creature. When this ETBs, you put a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance on the battlefield, and the enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has vigilance. Shieldtide Dragon, 5 and a white, 3/3 dragon with flying, lifelink, and megamorph. When it's turned face up, you put a +1/+1 in each other dragon creature you control. Sea Scryer, Guttle Lurker, 1 blue for a 1/1 salamander that can't be blocked, and it's got megamorph for a blue. Virtue's Ruin there. Suffocating Fumes, 2 and a black. Creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 until end of turn. Okay. Explosive Welcome, 5 and a red for an instant that deals 5 damage to any target, 3 damage to another target, and adds 3 red mana. Nah, it's way too expensive. Anarchist, 4 and a red, 2/2 townsfolk. When it comes into play, you can return target sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. Well, little incursion is nice. Skyshroud Elite, Okame Adversary, 3 and a green, 2/3 Elf Warrior, costs 2 less to cast. If an opponent controls a green permanent, has Death Touch, and when it deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. Okay. Sliver is always good. Crystalline Sliver this time, white and a blue, 2/2 Sliver. Slivers can't be the target of spells or abilities, so essentially gives them Shroud. Okay. Murderous Rider, 1 double black, 2/3 Zombie Knight. Lifelink, when it dies, you put it on the bottom of the library, and an instant adventure of 1 and double black to destroy target creature or planeswalker, you lose 2 life there. Another Mythic here, Worst Fears, 7 and a black sorcery. You control target player during that player's next turn, you exile Worst Fears. So essentially, you know, that Emrakul from Innistrad there. Can't remember which version it is, but you know, it's essentially that effect. And we're getting a nice, we got this Penumbra Umbra there, but more importantly, we got this Kobolds of Karakeep. Just a fun little 0 mana card there. So you just play it out probably for Storm there. Creature Kobold, it's a 0/1. It's a funny little one there, but I like that they have these generic cards that don't have any abilities, just they take up the full card there. It's very nice. Alrighty. On to the last third here. Gold Metal Harrier, 1 white, 1/1 Kithkin Soldier, 1 untap this, tap target creature, okay. Barbed Spike, Tezzeret's Gambit, Galarian West, comes to play tapped, can tap to add blue to your mana pool and can transmute 1 and double blue. You know, search for a card with a converted mana cost to 0. Very nice. Undercity Informer, Feral Shadow, Flame Javelin, hybrid of 3 hybrids of 2 or red. For an instant with Flame Javelin deals 4 damage to target creature or player. Goblin Grenadiers, 3 in a red, 2/2 Goblin with sack it to destroy target creature and target land. Use this only if this is attacking and unblocked. Okay, Horn Sliver, another one of these as well. Always good to get more slivers there. Very nice. 2 in a green, 2/2 silver. All slivers gain trample. Very nice. Llanowar Visionary there. 2 in a green, 2/2 Elf Druid. ETBs, draw a card, taps for green. Okay. Edgewalker. Is that Edgewalker? Is that the Final Fantasy thing? 1 white and a black, 2/2 cleric. Cleric spells you play cast white and black less to play. This affects only the amount of colored mana you play. That is so nice. Man, now I'm like, is there a cleric deck that I could play where, you know, like cleric tribal, put this in here and then just try to reduce the cost of them as well to the generic mana cost, so that's just like playing them for free as if you've got omniscience. Johnny the Great-Hearted there from War of Spark, 2 green and white, 5 loyalty, legendary planeswalker Johnny. That has vigilance. Can go up 1 loyalty to gain 3 life. Can go down 2 loyalty to put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control and a loyalty counter on each other planeswalker you control. Tendrils of Agony there. Good old Storm. 2 double black for a sorcery. Target player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. And like I said, Storm, always good. Future Sight, you know, the card named Future Sight in the Future Sight border there. That's very nice there. Enchantment, play with the top card of your library revealed. You may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. Very nice. I dig that. Call from the Grave. Those spooky, scary skeletons are having a grand old time on that card there. Alrighty. Vizier of Remedies, 1 in a white, 2/1 human cleric. If 1 or more -1/-1 counters would be put on a creature you control, that many -1/-1 counters -1 are put on it instead. I think that this is very good with things that have persist, because they come back with their persist and they don't have their -1/-1s anymore, so they can keep on coming back. It's very nice. Veteran Armorer, Web of Inertia, Wizard class, 1 blue for an enchantment class. Starts off with, you have no max hand size. You can pay 2 in a blue to level us up to level 2. And when you do, you draw 2 cards. And after it's level 2, you can pay 4 in a blue to level it up to level 3, where whenever you draw a card, you put a +1/+1 on target creature you control. Blood Pact, Bone Shredder, Young Black Dragon, 3 in a red, 3/2 dragon, flying, can't block. Adventure instant of 1 in a red to create a treasure. Okay. Flame Waves, very expensive, 3 and 4 red for a sorcery that deals 4 damage to target player and each creature they control. Kind of like a 1-player Mizium Mortars almost. Vine Mare, Crashing Boars, 3 and double green for a 4/4 boar. If it attacks, defending player chooses an untapped creature they control. That creature blocks Crashing Boar this turn if able. So they have to choose to block it there, I guess. Shuko, okay, this was the one that went crazy with Nadu for a bit there, but now that Nadu is banned, I'm sure that this has lost all of its value. 1 mana for an artifact equipment that gives the equipped creature +1/+0, and it has an equip cost of 0, so you can put it all around just like Lightning Greaves there. So I don't know. If this still has value, this might be one of the cards I move on, because I don't need it. Girid Conclave Exile. 2, a red, a green, and a white for a 2/5 legendary human shaman. When it ETBs, you create a 4/4 green rhino creature token with trample, and whenever this attacks, you populate. Token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking there. So it's another one there, but one that I've got already. Goblin Guide, that's a nice one there. 1 red mana for a 2/2 Goblin Scout with haste, that whenever it attacks, defending player reveals the top card of their library. If it's a land, they put it into their hand there. But, for a while it was pretty good of being able to just swing in real quick with 2 damage. Ooh, and Giver of Runes, that's another good one as well. Based off of Mother of Runes. 1 white for a 1/2 core cleric. If you've got that Edgewalker there that reduces their cost by 1 and a black, this is free. You can tap Giver of Runes to have another target creature you control gain protection from colorless or from the color of your choice until end of turn. Very, very good. And Marchesa's Surprise Party, she deserves it. She's such a queen, queen slay, and she's definitely slaying people. You could almost say that it's like an execution. Aven Mind Sensor. It's an interesting one. 2 and a white, 2/1 Bird Wizard with flash flying. If an opponent would search a library, that player searches top 4 cards of their library instead. So it doesn't stop them like some of the more powerful versions of this here. But, it is what it is. Starlit Angel, Surgical Skull Bomb, Willbender, 1 in a blue, 1/2 Human Wizard with Morph, 1/2. When it's turned face up, you change the target of target spell or ability with a single target. It's a nice one there. Burial Rites, Feast or Famine, another Sliver, this time a Blade Sliver, 2 and a red for a 2/2 Sliver that gives all slivers +1/+0. Always good to get more slivers. Blood Frenzy, 1 and a red, instant, cast this only before the combat damage step. Target attacking or blocking creature gets +4/+0 until end of turn. Destroy that creature at the beginning of the next end step there, so you just have it deal a lot of extra damage to hopefully kill the thing that you're either getting blocked by or blocking. Another land grant, that's always another good one to get there because I saw that one Mimi deck of trying to get all of this there, so very nice to get an extra one on that. Bookworm, 7 and a green, 7/7 worm, trample. When it ETBs, you gain 3 and draw a card. And 2 and a green, you put it from your graveyard into your library, 3rd from the top. Star Compass, 2 generic mana for an artifact that comes and play tapped. You can tap it to add to your mana pool 1 mana of any color a basic land you control would produce there. Okay. Conspicuous Snoop, double red for a 2/2 Goblin Rogue. You play with the top card of your library revealed. You can cast Goblin spells from the top of your library. As long as the top card of your library is a Goblin card, Conspicuous Snoop has all activated abilities of that card. Flickering Ward, 1 white for an enchantment aura, enchant creature. As Flickering Ward ETBs, you choose a color. Enchanted creature has protection from the chosen color. This effect doesn't remove Flickering Ward. Okay. 1 white to return this to its owner's hand, so you can do it over again if you want to. Okay. Ancient Stirrings. There, I think that this had Eldrazi artwork before, but, I'm digging this one as well. 1 green for a sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You can reveal a colorless card from among them, put it in your hand, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Always nice to get that. And a Runed Terror. Okay. Well, it seems like after we got through that first half of the box, we're actually getting new stuff here, which is nice. Like I said, it would be nice. It would be great to get another foil if able. Seraph of the Dawn, 2 double white, 2/4 angel with flying and lifelink. Good old Banisher Priest. Acquisition Octopus. I love this because it's an equipment octopus. Think Twice there. Classic, 1 in a blue, instant to draw a card, and then you can flash it back. Fellstinger, go blank. Punishing Fire. 1 and a red, instant, deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Whenever an opponent gains life, you may pay red. If you do, you return this from your graveyard to your hands. You can keep on playing it. Shivan Raptor, 2 and a red for a 3/1 lizard, possibly a dinosaur. Now, that has first strike and echo, and it has haste. While Wire Wood Channeler. Now, I'm surprised that this isn't worth a little bit more because of this effect, but maybe it's because it costs 4. I'm not sure, but I'm just surprised that it wasn't worth more because I thought it was pretty good. Skysair Spider, 4 double green for a 6/6 spider with vigilance and reach. Sunlit March, just a plains and swamp that ETB's tapped. Timeless Dragon, 3 double white, 5/5 dragon with flying and plains cycling 2, and Eternalize with 2 and double white there. I might be thinking of another card, but I feel like I'd seen something similar to this earlier on. Arcane Lighthouse, not too shabby. Tap to add colorless, and 1 and tap it until end of turn. Creatures your opponents control lose hexproof and shroud, and they can't have it there, which is very, very nice to be able to get around that there. The only thing is this, because it was made a long time ago there, it doesn't do anything with wards, so you got to do that. Oh my god, that's such a good one there. Luxor Ignited doesn't matter there. We got Show and Tell. Show and Tell is such a good card, and we got it in foil. Oh my goodness there. It's so good. 2 and a blue, sorcery. Each player may put an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land from their hand onto the battlefield. It's such a good card, and we got a foil version of it there. Oh my god, that's so good. It's so good. Wow. Wow. I didn't know it was going to be that type of box there. I don't mind getting all of similar cards at the beginning now if that's the type of thing that we're going to be getting. Sentinel Sliver, okay. I'm going to move this out of the way here. But this is from the 2014, that era there where, so I already have all of these slivers. 1 and a white, 2/2 sliver. Sliver creatures you control have vigilance. So they went from all slivers have it to only slivers you control now. So, you know, it makes it a little bit more just focused on you. Beloved Chaplain, Rescind, returning some permanent back to its owner's hand is nice. Deep Channel Mentor, 5 and a blue, 2/2 Merfolk Rogue. Blue creatures you control are unblockable. That's why it costs so much, because it just gives everything unblockable. Archfiend of Sorrows, Bog Down, Blazing Crescendo, 1 and a red instant. Target creature gets +3/+1 until end of turn. Exile top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You can play it. Okay. Incinerate, 1 and a red instant. Deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Creature damaged by it cannot be regenerated. Makes sense. Massive Might. River Bear, 3 and a red for a 3/3 bear with Island Walk. But this is a bear. It should be a 2/2. But it's a 3/3. They're really off their rockers with this one. Shimmer Drift Veil. Snowland that ETB's tapped. You choose a color when it ETBs, and you can tap to add 1 mana of the chosen color. Okay. Shared Summons. 3 double green. Instant, search your library for up to 2 creature cards with different names. Reveal them, put them into your hand, and shuffle your library. Okay. Oh, and more Planeswalkers. This time, a Dak Faden. Dead MFer, you know? Poor guy. He didn't stand a chance. 1 and a blue and a red for a 3 loyalty legendary Planeswalker Dak. Can +1 loyalty. Target player draws 2 and then discards 2. -2 loyalty, you gain control of target artifact. And -6 loyalty, you can have an emblem with whenever you cast a spell that targets 1 or more permanents, you gain control of those permanents. Very, very nice there. We'll certainly take an extra one of those. And a Walking Ballista in this frame there. Certainly take that. Walking Ballista is always a good card. Cost double X mana for a 0/0 artifact creature construct that ETBs with X +1/+1 counters on it. And for 4 mana, you can put a +1/+1 on it, or you can remove a +1/+1 to deal 1 damage to any target. There are multiple ways to go infinite with this. That's why it remains good. Glade of the Pump spells. Very, very nice to have that one there as well. Again, just a really weird land that they had for it. Well, doing pretty darn good with this one here, if I do say so myself. Field of Souls, 2 double white. Enchantment, whenever a non-token creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Lone Lion, Omen. A Narrowphage. That's my guess. A Narrowphage. 3 and a blue, 1/2 Squid Illusion with flying. Whenever you draw a card, you put a +1/+1 on it. Yeah, okay. Sir Conrad the Grim. Really like you, buddy. Diagraph Horde. Besmirch, 1 and double red for sorcery until end of turn. Gain control of target creature, and it gains haste. Untap it, and untap and goad that creature. Okay. Chaos Channeler, 2 and double red, 4/3 human shaman. Wild Magic Surge, whenever this attacks, you roll a d20. On a 1 to 9, exile top card of your library. You may play it this turn. 10 to 19, exile top 2 cards of your library. You can play them this turn. And on a nat 20, you exile top 3, and you can play them there. So not a very bad one there for Wild Magic there. Finhorn Elves, just your classic mana dork there. You know, they're always going to have a place there of being in there, especially since it's an elf. Venom Spout Brachus. 6 and a green, 5/5 beast with 1 and a green. Tap it. It deals 5 damage to target attacking or blocking creature with flying there. So kind of pseudo reach, I guess. And then it has morph of 3 and double green. Okay. I'm not going to use it. Prismatic Lens, 2 colorless for an artifact. Tap it for a colorless, or 1 and tap it to add 1 mana of any color. Yeah, okay. Very strange mythic for us to get. Hymn of the Wilds, a conspiracy card. You can start the game with this conspiracy face up in the command zone. The first creature spell you cast each turn costs 1 less to cast, and you can't cast instant or sorcery cards. So that's what you're choosing. Pretty darn good in that Rurik Thar deck, where you reduce the cost of creatures and you don't really want to be playing spells and sorcerers anyway. So, I mean, sure. Lavinia Azorius Renegade, 2/2 legendary human soldier. Each opponent can't cast non-creature spells with mana value greater than the number of lands they control. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana is spent to cast it, you counter it. Yep. Ooh, and we get another one of our full art ones. This time it's a Memnite. It'd be great to get a Ornithopter as well. This is just a 0 mana 1/1 artifact creature. That's all it is. And we get a Madlands as well. He's not bad. He's just mad. Alrighty, second to last pack here. Well, now that we've gotten 2 foils in these, probably not going to get another one. It'd be great, but don't expect it. Swift Justice, 1 mana for an instant. Till end of turn, target creature gets +1/+0 for strike and lifelink. Dire Spiritualist, Bergstrider, Stinging Barrier, 2 double blue for an 0/4 wall with Defender. 1 blue and tap. It deals 1 damage to target attacking, 1 damage to target creature player. Okay. Moonglove Changeling, Reaping the Graves, Nimble Bird Striker, 2 and a red, 2/3 Goblin with Reach. Yep. Goblin Slide, 2 and a red. Enchantment, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay 1. If you do, put a 1/1 red Goblin creature token with haste on the battlefield. Okay. Heart Warden, Masked Vandal, 1 and a green, 1/3 Shapeshifter with Changeling. When it ATBs, you may exile a creature from your graveyard. If you do, exile target artifact or enchantment opponent controls. It's not too shabby. Planar Atlas, 2 colorless for an artifact. When it ETBs tapped, when it ETBs, you can look at the top 4 cards of your library. If you do, reveal up to 1 land from among them, but put the rest on the top of your library. Then put it on the top of your library, and the rest go on the bottom of your library in a random order. Taps for 1 colorless. Path of Discovery, 3 and a green. Enchantment, when ATBs under your control, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it explores. Okay, pretty basic one there. Oh, the white bordered version of Noxious Revival. We'll certainly take that. It's got its other artwork there. Oh no, we had mutagenic growth. No, this is different. Noxus Revival, 1 green Phyrexian mana for an instant that puts put target card from a graveyard on the top of its owner's library. Very, very good card. I'm glad they get another one of those. Hoodwink there. Looks like got kind of almost like all of the Moxes there, and one is missing. I know that's not the actual Moxes, but it's like you got white, green, black, and red, and the blue's gone. 1 in a blue, instant, return target artifact, enchantment, or land to its owner's hand. Not too shabby. Certainly take that. And a little naturalized too. Alrighty. Last pack here. Let's go for a little last pack magic. I know that we've already gotten show and tell, which is going to be the big one there. Little Reverent Hoplite, 4 and a white, 1/2 human soldier. When it ETBs, you create a number of 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens equal to your devotion white. Mistveiled Plains. It's a Plains. ETB's tapped. White and tap it. Put target card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. Activate this only if you control 2 or more white permanents. Okay. Tetsuko Umezawa, Fugitive. We'll certainly like those ones there. This looks like some sort of turtle that is attacking someone there, and I have no idea what it is because it's all in Chinese. I wonder, are they putting them in... I'm wondering if they put them into the language of the person that drew it, because I see the illustrator is Wang Yukun, which is a Chinese name there, so that might be something to look at for those ones there. Elspeth's Nightmare. Bond of Ulamog, great card there. A great one to get in the uncommon slot. Always will take more of those. Blood Knight, double red for a 2/2 human knight with first strike and protection from white. Pretty simple. Needletooth Raptor, 3 and a red, 2/2 dinosaur. Enrage, that's what it is. Enrage. Whenever Needletooth Raptor is dealt damage, it deals 5 damage to target creature an opponent controls. Yeah, you know. It's unfortunate that it has 2 toughness, you know, or you could have used that other thing on it there. Kenris Transformation there, always good to be able to make an impactful creature lose their abilities and make their base power and toughness small. Argothian Opportunist, 2 and a green, 3/2 human scout, ETBs, create a tapped Power Stone token. Okay. Durgar, Hedge Mage, 2 and a hybrid red-white for a 2/2 Dwarf Shaman. When it ETBs, if you control 2 or more mountains, you destroy target artifact, and if you control 2 or more planes, you may destroy target enchantment. Always nice. And our final rare for the regular ones is going to be a Wake Thrasher, 2 and a blue for a 1/1 Merfolk Soldier. Whenever a permanent you control becomes untapped, this gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Oh, we got to end off with a banger here. White bordered Uro Titan of Nature's Wrath. Oh, so good. 1 green and a blue for a 6/6 legendary Elder Giant. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. When it ETBs or attacks, you gain 3 life, you draw a card, and you can put land from your hand onto the battlefield, an escape cost. 2 green, 2 blue, and exile 5 other cards from your graveyard, and you put it onto the battlefield. What a great way to end this off there. That and Static Orb as well. Oh my goodness. We got generic, don't really care. We got really, really good legendary creature, and then we got Stax Beast. 3 generic mana for artifact as long as it is untapped. Players can't untap more than 2 permanents during their untap step. Well, if you just find a way to tap it during your upkeep or during the end of your opponent's turn there, then it's like, well, yep, they will suffer the consequences. And can't quite recall. I like this one here. There, 1 blue mana for an instant. Forbidden, this card can't be in your starting deck. Yes, you read that right. You need to figure out a way to get it into the game without it being in your deck. Target player draws 3 cards. So, you know, you got to use something like Wish or whatnot there to bring it out. What a good last pack to end it on. But, I mean, getting the Uro, but obviously the big winner there is definitely Show and Tell. The Scale Lord Reckoner is definitely a contender as well, but I mean, good ones there, good white cards, just cards in general there. It was just weird that the beginning of the packs were just all the same as previous ones, but that happens. But thanks for joining me on this particular diary entry there of looking at this mystery booster there. Despite all of the weirdness that happened, I guess with everything that was showing up the same, I guess the X-Files theme really did make sense. But I'm wishing you a lot of luck with whatever it is that you are up to. Please take care of yourself. I hope you'll come on back. Until then, see you later.